Welcome to the Casuals Guide to UFC Fight Night Allen vs. Craig, where I show you filthy casuals why this card is going to be a banger. So don't forget to smash that like button and let's get right into it. In the main event, two submission aces face off when Brendan All-In Allen takes on Paul Bearjew Craig. The number 10 ranked middleweight Brendan Allen is 22-5 with 13 wins by submission and 5 by knockout or TKO. And what's really crazy to me is that he is only 27 years old and he has fought some killers in the UFC. After losing to Chris Curtis, he has been on fire. He has won 5 in a row. He got a rear naked choke submission win over Sam Alvey. He would win a unanimous decision over a powerful wrestler in Jacob Malkoun. And then he would go on to out-grapple and submit Krzysztof Jotko via rear naked choke. He would get his biggest win and his most impressive win when he would take on Andre Muniz. This was a grappling showcase. Both guys showed off their skills, but it seemed that Brendan Allen had the upper hand in most exchanges. And finally, in the third round, he would find another rear naked choke. The chokes would not stop for Allen as he faced Bruno Silva. He would once again find the rear naked choke in the very first round as he won by submission. And it's no surprise because the rear naked choke is his bread and butter. It's actually crazy how good he is at locking it in. 11 of his 13 submission wins have actually been by rear naked choke, which is just insane. He's going to have to try to out-grapple another dangerous grappler in Paul Craig. Craig is 17-6 with 13 wins by submission, and this is Craig's second fight at middleweight after leaving light heavyweight. In his last fight, he made his middleweight debut against Andre Muniz. In the second round, he got the back and unleashed some nasty ground and pound to end the fight. Both guys have elite grappling. I do think Allen has the better striking abilities, but he is still learning. Craig has looked good so far, and both guys are going to look to prove that they're the superior grappler. Both guys are very dangerous. Don't miss out. In the co-main event, top prospects collide when Jake the Celtic Kid Matthews takes on Michael Morales. Jake Matthews is 29 years old and he is 19-6. He has been in the UFC for a very long time. He is 12-6 in the UFC so far, and he has had a lot of ups and downs. He has suffered a lot of injuries, but he is coming off a submission win over Darius Flowers. He would lock in the rear naked choke in the second round. And overall, he's pretty well rounded, but he's going to have to lock in against the 24-year-old Michael Morales. Morales is undefeated at 15-0, and 11 of those are by knockout or TKO, while only 1 is by submission. He is a tall, lanky striker, and he has been on a roll in the UFC. He made his UFC debut against Trevin Giles, and he would catch Giles with a huge counter right hand, and he would finish the fight with some ground and pound. After that, he would face off against Adam Fugit. This fight would only last until the third round when Morales finally found his shot. He would TKO Adam in another impressive performance. In his most recent fight, he would take a leap in competition when he fought Max Griffin. He would win by unanimous decision. He fought a very fight smart, and both guys have had very different roads up to this point, but everything comes together on Saturday when two prospects look to move up. Don't miss out. We got a grappling battle when Jordan the Monkey King Levitt faces off against Chase the Dream Hooper. You casuals might recognize Jordan Levitt. He was matched up against Paddy Pimblett and ended up losing by submission via rear naked choke. He lost by submission and also got teabagged. He would bounce back big against Victor Martinez. He would win by TKO with a series of knees and punches. He is a submission guy through and through. He is 11-2 with 6 submission wins. He'll be going up against another submission threat when he faces Chase Hooper. Chase is 12-3 with 5 wins by submission. He has had a rough time in the UFC so far, going 4-3. After getting TKO'd by Steve Garcia, he would bounce back with a win over Nick Fiore, where he would win by unanimous decision. He had a bunch of hype, but he is still very young. At only 24 years old, he still has time to reach his potential. High-level grappling will be on full display. I expect a grappling battle, but I wouldn't be surprised if this becomes a striking affair. Don't miss out. We got a fun clash between bantamweight prospects when Peyton Talbot makes his UFC debut against Slick Nick Aguirre. Peyton is 6-0 with 5 wins by knockout or TKO. He won his UFC contract on Dana White's Contender Series against Reyes Cortez in impressive fashion. He showcased his striking, and he was very fun to watch. He is still very green at only 25 years old. He's going to have to fight for his spot against the 27-year-old Nick Aguirre. Nick is 7-1 with 3 wins by knockout or TKO and 4 by submission. He made his UFC debut against Dan Argueta, where he would lose by unanimous decision after being out-grappled for all 3 rounds. This will be his second fight in the UFC, and he's going to be looking to bounce back big. Both these guys have infinite potential. Both guys are fun on the feet, and who knows, maybe one day one of these guys will break into the top 15 and maybe even compete for the title. Don't miss out. Ranked strawweights clash when the number 9 ranked strawweight Luana Pinheiro defends her ranking against the number 11 ranked Amanda Ribas. We got a battle between two very attractive fighters. Luana Pinheiro has quietly been on a roll, slowly making her way up the UFC rankings. She is 3-0 in the UFC. She would win her UFC debut in odd fashion when she would take an illegal upkick from Randa Marcos and she would win by disqualification. She would go on to beat Sam Hughes by unanimous decision. And in her last fight, she would win a close split decision over Michelle Waterson Gomez. Amanda Ribas has been in the UFC for a while. She is 6-3. She's coming off a TKO loss to Macy Barber. She would be in a bloody brawl in a crazy fight. Before that, she would beat Viviane Araújo by unanimous decision, and she has been up and down so far, but she has faced the better competition. It's going to be the biggest test for Pinheiro's career, and for Ribas, she's going to be looking to bounce back. There's a lot at stake here for both women, and stylistically, it's going to be a fun one. Don't miss out. Heavy hitting strikers come to dance when Uros the Dr. Medic faces off against Johnny the Slugger Knot Parsons. Both guys are heavy hitting strikers. Uros Medic was a huge prospect out of Serbia. A lot of his early hype was brought down a bit when he would lose to Jalen Turner, but that loss has actually aged pretty well. He would bounce back big with back-to-back wins. He would knock out Omar Morales in the second round of their fight. Then in his last fight, Medic would TKO Matthew Semmelsberger in the third round. His power was on full display. 7 of his 9 wins are by knockout TKO, and he's going to have to be at his best because he faces a tough brawler in Johnny Parsons. Johnny is also a heavy-hitting striker. He earned his contract on the Contender Series, and he would make his UFC debut against Danny Roberts. He would make it a nasty fight, and in the second round landed a barrage of punches that would end the fight. 7 of his 9 wins are by knockout or TKO. Both guys are great strikers. Both guys have big power. Don't miss out. Alright guys, this was my rundown of the card. I hope you filthy casuals learned a thing or two. And don't forget to like and subscribe. It's going to be a great night of fights. Don't forget to tune in. And I'll see you in 2 weeks for UFC Fight Night, Bearjew versus Sarukian. But before then, protect your neck and take care.